Greetings, I'm Rob Chapman. Welcome to a lesson all about pinch harmonics. This is kind of a love or hate type technique. Some people absolutely love it and some people kind of really don't like it. So people call it a pinched harmonic. Sometimes they call it a pick squeal, and some places that's become known as a pig squeal. But either way, the technique is exactly the same. I'm going to teach you how I do it, and then I'm going to give you a couple of exercises for placement so that you can make different kinds of pinched harmonic on the same string. And then I'm going to teach you how to do it across a chord. You're just going to need some gain and a treble pickup, because if you don't have gain and a treble pickup, although it's not impossible, the technique will still work. It'll be much less obvious when it's being done correctly. I think it's a really cool technique, but I think it's important to do it for a reason, not just willy-nilly, all the time, randomly. Kind of add it for effect, because you can overdo it with pinched harmonics and it will sound a little bit cheesy. Your plectrum will go through the string, and as the pick is going through the string, following it is your thumb. And all we're doing is, as the pick goes through that string, the side of your thumb is going to brush against the string. And it's really the side of your thumb that is causing the pinched harmonic to occur. It's kind of the same as if I was to strike a string and then touch a harmonic point. So rather than doing that, I'm doing it with the pick and the thumb simultaneously, but I have to get the right location on the string at a harmonic point. So that I'll play you a note on the guitar and then I'll move the pick around and you'll hear the different pinched harmonics coming through. So I'm getting different pitches because I'm getting different harmonics. And that's the same for every string. So the first thing that I would recommend you do is find a note. Doesn't matter what the note is, it can be anywhere, but preferably to start with on the A string, because in my experience, kind of the A and the D string are a little bit easier to get that pinched harmonic to really fly out of the guitar. So fret down any note, around the 3rd, 4th, 5th fret on the A or D string, doesn't matter, and just get the pick in a way that you are comfortable with holding it, but have a little bit less pick so that if your pick was to go through the string, the flesh on the side of your thumb would follow through and touch the string. And you might need to look down and just eyeball it to make sure that that's what's happening to the string. Because I noticed through teaching guitar when I was, much younger, that beginners would hold the pick with a lot of pick sticking out. And you can still do that and get this technique to work with the right angle, but it's a lot harder because the thumb flesh is so much further away from the string. You need a really odd angle to make it operate that way. So rather than having lots of pick sticking out, just have a little bit less pick. Also, if you want this to be even easier, rather than having the pick like this, so it's pointing that way, have it point slightly that way. So I'm tipping the angle down like that, you see? I'll probably give you a close-up now so that you can see how it looks from my perspective looking down at the pick. But again, it needs to be comfortable for you, so it's kind of fitting with the way you hold the pick. Fret down a note, just play the note normally. And then rub the thumb over the string. So in my mind, it's a bit like I'm rubbing my thumb over the string, the pick happens to be in my hand. And what I've discovered over the years is that by moving my first finger, I can kind of unfold and open the distance between the pick and the side of my thumb. Here is a close-up showing you kind of how that operates. And again, everyone will do this slightly differently. Some people will do this by virtue of the way they're angling that plectrum, and some people will do it by manipulating the pick in their fingers. But what I want you to do is work out where on the string you get a really strong harmonic response. There's a particular couple of positions where it will be really clear that you're getting that harmonic. So let me find them now. Well, there's a good one. I'll go forward a bit more, as in towards this neck pickup. There's a pretty good one. That one is really pure, kind of flute-like. It's got a very different quality. The earlier ones were kind of screamy, and the ones a little bit closer to the neck were more flute-like. I mean, I'm literally only moving about sort of a couple of centimeters along the string, and the pitch of that harmonic and the quality are completely different. So it's a really interesting technique. That flute-like harmonic almost sounded just like it was a note. Do you know what I mean? If I just played that randomly, you wouldn't necessarily know it was a pinched harmonic, because it sounds kind of like, sounds like that, yeah? Same note, yeah? But I'm playing it here as a pinched harmonic, or up here on the 15th fret B string as an actual, an actual note. When you find the location that it operates, make a mental note of the one that you like the sound of, and its position this is kind of tricky, but relative to the note you fretted down and the pickup, just as a visual guide to begin with. And what you'll find is that as you move the fretted note, you have to move the picking hand with it to maintain that harmonic type. I'll show you that. So if I move this down a tone, I've got to move this as well. So I have to move this hand in accordance with my fretting hand. But you can't just stay in one place. If you do, what you'll find from time to time is the pinched harmonic just won't come out. The distance will always be the same, dependent on the scale length of your guitar. Let's move into harmonics with a chord, and we're just going to do power chords to make this easy. It's the same fundamental technique. There's no difference. I'm just rubbing my thumb flesh over the string and the pick is kind of following. It's a very different sounding kind of power chord. It's much more obvious the higher you go. It almost sounds like you've stepped on like a whammy pedal and you've pitched up the chord. Practice individual locations, practice moving left and right hand together, and then eventually try practicing on fourths and fifths. So fourth, just in case you don't know, is two notes, maybe, one above the other. I love the 80s. Have an amazing day. Hope this was useful. Take it easy. Chappers out.